If you're planning to buy an EV in 2026, stop scrolling for a second. Because one of the biggest EV buying mistakes this year is happening before people even step into the dealership. Millions of Americans still think there's a federal $7,500 EV tax credit waiting for them. There isn't. The rules changed. Quietly, fast, and most buyers still have no idea. Some dealers are still advertising tax credit savings. Some YouTubers are still using outdated information from 2024 and 2025. And buyers are walking in expecting huge discounts that legally no longer exist. So what actually replaced the EV tax credit in 2026? Who still saves money? And why are some cars suddenly way more expensive than buyers expected? By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what changed, what incentives still exist, and how to avoid getting burned at the dealership. Let's get into it.
All right, let's clear this up immediately. The federal EV tax credit system that dominated headlines for the last few years is effectively over for new purchases in 2026. That includes the famous $7,500 incentive under Section 30D. For years, buyers could get up to $7,500 for qualifying EVs, but only if the vehicle met strict assembly and battery sourcing requirements. And those rules got increasingly complicated. Cars had to be assembled in North America, battery minerals had to come from approved countries, battery components had to meet manufacturing thresholds, income limits applied, MSRP caps applied. Some cars qualified partially, some fully, some lost eligibility overnight. And now, for vehicles acquired after September 30th, 2025, those federal clean vehicle purchase credits ended. That means if you're buying a brand new EV in 2026, expecting the federal government to instantly knock $7,500 off the price, that's outdated information. Now, this is important. If someone purchased a qualifying vehicle before that September 2025 cutoff, they may still be able to claim the credit retroactively on their taxes. But for fresh 2026 purchases, the landscape completely changed. And honestly, this is where a lot of the confusion starts, because people are still shopping using old rules.
So, if the old EV tax credits are gone, what replaced them? The answer is something much less flashy, but potentially valuable for the right buyer. It's the new vehicle loan interest deduction structure. Instead of giving buyers a one-time tax credit up front, the government shifted toward allowing qualifying buyers to deduct vehicle loan interest over time. And this changes the psychology of buying completely. Because now, instead of asking, does this EV qualify for $7,500? The question becomes, how much interest can I deduct while financing this vehicle? Under the current rules, qualifying buyers may deduct up to $10,000 in annual vehicle loan interest for eligible vehicles. But there are catches. And yes, there are always catches. First, the vehicle generally needs to be assembled in the United States. Second, there are income phase-outs. Third, leases don't qualify under this deduction system. And fourth, this is a deduction, not a direct rebate. That means it reduces taxable income. It is not the same thing as somebody handing you a check for $7,500. Huge difference. And honestly, for many middle-income buyers, this new system may feel less generous than the old EV credits. Because psychologically, people understand instant discounts. Monthly tax deductions feel slower, less visible. But for buyers financing expensive vehicles with high interest rates, this deduction can still become meaningful over several years, especially in a market where auto loan rates remain elevated.
Now, here's where things get messy, because dealerships know buyers are still walking in expecting EV incentives, and that creates a dangerous situation. Some dealers advertise discounts that are actually manufacturer incentives, not federal programs. Others bundle state incentives, loyalty bonuses, military rebates, or financing promotions together, and casually call it tax credit savings. And technically, that can confuse buyers without being an outright lie. So here's the rule. Never assume a dealership discount is a federal incentive. Ask directly.
what specific program is this discount coming from? If they can't clearly explain it, slow down. Because in 2026, there are now multiple different types of savings floating around at once. Manufacturer discounts, state EV incentives, utility company rebates, low-interest financing offers, trade-in bonuses, and the new interest deduction structure. These are not the same thing. And here's something buyers are about to notice very quickly. Some EVs may suddenly feel more expensive in 2026 than they did in 2024 or 2025, even if the sticker price barely changed. Why? Because the psychological cushion of the old federal credit disappeared. A $45,000 EV used to feel like a $37,000 EV after incentives. Now buyers are seeing the full number again, and that changes shopping behavior fast.
So with the old tax credits gone, who actually still comes out ahead? Honestly, 3 groups. First, buyers with strong credit who qualify for good financing rates and can actually benefit from the interest deduction over time. Second, shoppers in states that still offer aggressive local EV incentives, because some states continue offering rebates, registration discounts, HOV access, or charging incentives even after the federal changes. And third, buyers who negotiate aggressively, because manufacturers know the market just lost one of its biggest selling points. And that means some automakers may start replacing lost federal incentives with direct discounts, promotional financing, or lease specials just to keep EV sales moving. In other words, the era of government discounts driving EV sales may be fading, and the era of manufacturers fighting harder for buyers may just be beginning. That's the shift happening right now.
All right, before you buy any EV in 2026, remember these 3 things. Step 1. Stop using old information. If the article, Reddit thread, TikTok, or YouTube video you're watching was made in 2024 or early 2025, double-check everything, because the rules changed dramatically after September 2025. Step 2. Ask dealers exactly where discounts come from. Manufacturer rebate, state incentive, federal deduction, low-interest financing. Make them explain every dollar clearly before signing anything. Step 3. Calculate the real cost. Not the fantasy number in your head after imaginary tax credits. The real monthly payment. The real insurance cost. The real charging situation. The real interest rate. That's the number that matters. The EV market just entered a completely different phase. And honestly, most buyers still haven't realized it yet. If this video helped you cut through the confusion, hit that like button and subscribe to AutoPulse, because we're covering every major EV shift, pricing war, and dealership trick happening right now. And tell me in the comments, would you still buy an EV without the old federal tax credit? I'm AutoPulse, and I'll see you in the next one.